What's up, everybody? Good morning. Once again, coming to you live with our friends from Broward County Public Schools. And we have a special guest in the house today, Kristen from Vocabulary.com. Fantastic partner. We are big fans of what they're doing over there. But let's get to the most important people on the list. That's Miss Wanda Ponder. You could see her all dressed to the nines there because she's had a big day today. Really quickly, let me introduce you to who Wanda is. So Wanda, 30 years in education. She's the literacy instructional facilitator. And by the way, if any basketball doesn't happen this year with March Madness or the NBA or whatever, we had a massive tournament today in Broward County Public Schools. You could see Wanda there. The trophies are still on site. She was a basketball player in elementary, middle, and high school. She has got the moves, my friends. Our other special A-list guest is Mr. James Frye, reading coach, 9 years in education. He loves to take cruises. Right now, I think any and all of us would love to be on a cruise, James, my friends. Really quickly, we're just going to make a quick change. LinkedIn is giving us a little trouble, which is okay. We'll keep moving. So with that, I want to turn just a few minutes over to our friend Kristen at Vocabulary.com to talk about who is Vocabulary.com and specifically what are these incredible educators at Broward doing with Vocabulary.com today.
Well, thank you. They are incredible educators. We are so fortunate to be in our 6th year working with Broward County Public Schools in grades 5 through 12. Broward schools are using our platform to develop the academic vocabulary that is so essential for students to succeed in the classroom and beyond, and to cultivate strong readers, writers, and communicators. And our approach at Vocabulary.com, if you're not using the platform, is pretty unique in that we identify each learner's individual word gaps and then follow up with them to provide very personalized instructions and personal pathways to be successful. And we're also designed to integrate with any curriculum. So as you'll see when Mr. Frye comes up, teachers are using the platform in the classroom to support their own curriculum, which is really very unique about the platform. And then back to Broward's larger success with Vocabulary.com, the entire district has really embraced the platform. There are every year in the National Vocabulary Bowl competition, which we sponsor, there are dozens of schools ranked nationally from Broward in middle school and high school divisions, including a 3-peat national middle school champion, Margate Middle. And what we did today to support the Browards Big Game was to really try to get the younger generation of Broward students at the elementary school level to start having that love of language and really start to cultivate the next generation of academic all-stars to hopefully compete at the national level like the other schools in the middle school and high school level at Broward.
Kristen, since we have you, we can't miss the opportunity to say, what is your favorite word that can be found on Vocabulary.com?
My favorite word is gazebo.
Very interesting. Huh? Very interesting. With that, let's move back to my friend Wanda. Wanda, I want to hear all about this big game. Broward's Big Game happened today. Talk us through it.
It was absolutely an awesome occasion, event where we had all of our 11 schools in Broward competing virtually through doing the Vocabulary.com challenge. We had brackets. We had each school represented an NBA team. And as you can see, I'm in Studio 1 at Ted Elementary. This is my studio. And we were able to see the challenge, and Vocabulary.com did an awesome job in organizing and helping to facilitate that for our schools. We did a live session last year where vocabulary, when our schools were in brick and mortar, and we said there was no way we're going to miss this opportunity this year. And we were able to take this platform virtually using all of the technology that was available in Broward, where we were able to see all of our classrooms where the scholars were participating. And you know, I am hyped. I was hyped during the session. I love my studio, and I'm looking forward to us doing this experience again on next year. But it was great to see how we took this to the virtual experience.
I just want to go to dinner with Wanda, everybody. She is
just a bowl of fun life. Absolutely.
I got to get myself out to Florida, my friend. So let's talk about how this started. We all know you're a basketball fan, but I want to know, where did this vocabulary challenge And Kristen, you might talk about what you've done with Vocabulary.com, but I specifically want to know when did it start to be a big part of what Broward is doing?
So one of the things, Christian, so one of the things is, as my cadre director, Jacqueline Haywood, had an idea last year to bring the vocabulary academics as a part of one of our focus, and we needed to have a platform that was able to facilitate that. And that's when Vocabulary.com has come into play for our cadre. So that's the way it was birthed out in our cadre on last year, and making it a competitive experience for each one of our schools.
Kristen, give me a little bit more color. What is it that Broward's done, and highlight the great work that Wanda and James and others have done over in Broward with Vocabulary?
I mean, it's hard to pick one thing because Broward's implementation of Vocabulary.com has been so creative. They've just leveraged the gamification that's built into the platform and taken it in new directions that we couldn't have imagined. We have the Vocabulary Bowl, we have the Vocabulary Jam, which is the structure of the tournament today. And they just come to us with new ideas every year about how we can really reach more students. So they asked us to really help get the students excited and motivated for some friendly competition. They really believe that all students can achieve at high levels, and we were just really happy to get on board and take what's already built into the platform and really help them make something special and shine a bright light on all the successful initiatives that are going on and the amazing teachers and students at the schools. So
that's awesome. Wanda, let's talk about Vocabulary.com again. How have they helped support the needs of your students in the district?
Well, we work with 11 schools here in Broward County that my director, we consider, Director Haywood considers turnaround schools. And we know that the importance of having academic vocabulary as a part of your instruction daily. And we are all about competitions in our cadre. So we using this platform allows for scholars to do it in a fun and engaging and exciting way. And we share with our teachers. So it becomes a part of our instruction daily, and supporting them with that. So we're glad that Broward has also had competitions and experiences on our platform using Vocabulary.com on different days. So each school gets to compete through using that platform, which I think is an outstanding model to help scholars with vocabulary.
I love it. I didn't mention, and I apologize, our good friend Sarah, who's an instructional technology facilitator. Yes. She wanted me to call on her. She actually didn't. But Sarah, I want you to just talk very briefly, the innovative learning stuff that you guys are doing at Broward. How have you worked with Wanda, and what do you think is the most impressive and interesting thing that she's doing for students?
Welcome, everyone. So I had the opportunity to work with Wanda, setting this vocabulary jams up and coordinating with all 11 different schools, which was really amazing. It's really cool to see 11 schools come together to be able to face the challenges that we had, which we know that we're in a situation right now where technology is a big deal. We have students at home, we have students in the classroom, and being able to set up this challenge, have all 11 schools be able to have their students on virtual and compete. Wanda did a fantastic job of coordinating, making sure that all the students would be able to get to the right spots, have the right links. Very, very, very thankful for Wanda's initiative and drive, and I was able to work with her pretty closely the last couple weeks of making sure all the schools had all the technology they need, all the directions they need, and it was very successful.
Awesome. Wanda, I mean, I'm jazzed, you're jazzed, Kristen, Sarah, and James are jazzed. How did the students partake in this little event that we had today? Walk me through the excitement level that was there.
The energy was off the roof. I mean, having the experience of all scholars. So we selected teams that competed, but not only did the teams compete, we had what was the all jam. And when I tell you, it was, everybody is watching the leaderboards now, because we have an extended part of our challenge where they are still competing for points. Schools got the leaderboards up and watching the screen until the end of day, because that's the third trophy that we're giving out, is for words mastered and gaining points for your school. So at this point, schools are still in the competition. And the scholars were excited throughout their entire schools. Schools had T-shirts made. They had their rooms set up with the NBA decorations. So all of 11 schools were in it.
That's awesome. Okay, fantastic job, everyone, with Browards Big Game. Thanks to Vocabulary.com, fantastic partner. I'm going to shift just a little bit over to our good friend, Mr. James Frye, the reading coach at Tedder Elementary School. So talk to me, James. I want to hear about how this school year started for you. Was it hybrid? Was it face-to-face? Was it all virtual? What was it looking like?
Well, this year we started all virtual, and we were all virtual until about October when we transitioned to a hybrid model.
Awesome. Walk me through, James, some of the challenges in that first semester. What did you deal with, and how did you overcome them?
Some of the challenges we dealt with was our students' attendance and our students' motivation and engagement level. So what we did at the beginning of the school year, we had the opportunity to provide our students with, our teachers with an innovative professional development that focused on different digital tools that they can use in their classroom to engage the students. And some of those tools we taught them was Canvas, Vocabulary.com, Nearpod, interactive PowerPoint. So we wanted to find ways that the teachers are not doing more of the talking, but they're still being a facilitator in the classroom. So we provided them all those professional developments that increase that engagement virtually.
That's awesome. So talk me through, James, I want to get the deep, dark secrets about what you're doing with Vocabulary.com. So there's been some innovative stuff like the Broward Big Game. Anything else that you want to share about how you're using Vocabulary.com to be able to help, or Vocabulary.com and Canvas to help students to continue to learn during this difficult time?
Yes. So at Tedder, we implement Vocabulary.com to reinforce academic vocabulary words in all content area. So instead of using a traditional dictionary and paper and looking up the glossary and writing a definition, we use this innovative program so scholars are able to learn vocabulary word using a wide array of question types and activities that will help all students understand all the vocabulary meanings. So not only are they just looking in the dictionary and writing a definition, they're getting exposed to different question types that they're going to use on the FSA to help understand those meanings. Our scholars also participate in friendly classroom and grade level jams to assist in mastering the word. So all students like to be in friendly competition. So we have in the classroom, we have classroom jams where students get to compete against each other to see who know the words and who know the words the most. We also monthly sometimes can do different grade level jams. So the students compete in the whole grade level to see who's going to be that grade level champion in the school. And the best thing about vocabulary words, once the students master the words, it doesn't stop providing them that word. It continues to remediate that word so students can always remember that word. And then once students learn that word, we also implement those vocabulary words into other projects, such as research projects, different poster creations that you're going to see in the next slide, to just continue to remediate those words that we use during vocabulary.
That's awesome. James, talk me through, you just talked about that slide. I want you to walk me through some of these examples, student examples that you put together.
So the first example you're looking at is from a 5th grade class from The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So the teacher did a lesson on The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and then they had to be able to learn different academic vocabulary words to create this poster. So what the teacher did, once she taught that standard, she started using different vocabulary.com to learn those words, and then the final product was they had to create this poster based on what they learned about The Boy Who Cried Wolf. So this is one of the innovative ways that they learn during the professional development to engage their students. So the teacher used a shared PowerPoint to create this document. So students were able to collaborate with each other. Students were able to collaborate with students that were at home because they used different breakout rooms to complete this assignment.
That's awesome. What about this one?
So this was another research project they did on different countries. So the student had to do some research, and they did this in a group on this country. So this was another shared PowerPoint, as I was saying, one of the different tools that we taught the teachers, because we wanted teachers to understand just because we're virtual, our expectation doesn't change. Students are still required to collaborate with each other and complete different engage in projects, so they don't just have to be on a computer and lecturing all day.
Awesome. What about this one?
So this one was on inferring. And what we did was we had students read an article and they had to know what that word inference means. So they had different practice on learning that word. So what they did was, once we learned that word and learned about the different vocabulary words within that lesson, we created, this was another share PowerPoint. Each student had their own PowerPoint slide. So this was more of an independent lesson, and all the students had their own slide, and the teachers were able to monitor in real time as the students were writing on that slide.
That's awesome. I'm going to push this next one to multiple people. So I want to hear both from James and from Wanda. Wanda, let's start with you. Past year has been just difficult, to say the very least. But there's been so many examples of incredible teachers, like educators like yourself, Wanda, and James, and others who have used technology in new and different ways to be able to reach their students no matter where they were at. Hopefully this pandemic is over really soon and we can all go back to being face-to-face and in-person in classes everywhere. However, what do you take from this pandemic from a technology in education standpoint that we can use moving forward? How can we use the momentum we've gained to further education in the future?
Okay, just to kind of, so I think, just having the resilience, being able to be creative in our thought processes, supporting our my coaches that here are, or coaches and teachers with creative and innovative ways to include the vocabulary within your instruction and making it fun, making sure that scholars are having that opportunity to have competitions. The big game next would be now schools can now compete at their grade level, and exposing like our third graders and kids that are in the primary grades, having fun activities throughout that's related, so that as we go through our different grade levels, we can see how scholars are improving on their academic vocabulary through each grade level. So having those experiences, not just in 5th grade, but at all the grade levels in the schools that we support. And I think that'll bring energy like that. I think the kids being involved today is going to be contagious, because they're going to go and share about the event to other scholars at their school. So hoping to see that more students are can be involved in this entire process by the energy that is shared through our leaders at our schools.
I love it. James, what about you? How do we continue to use this momentum that we've gained with using technology effectively, even after the pandemic has passed?
So as the literacy coach, I think my job is to just ensure after this pandemic, as a school, we still continue to implement innovating technology ways to enhance student learning. And just like Ms. Ponder said, to provide that engagement and that fun within learning. Because what we learn is students are having fun, but they're still learning at the same time. So using those different jams, they're learning words and they're competing against each other. So like the scholars that we had today, they were so into that vocabulary jam. They were having fun. They wanted to be in first, but at the same time, they were learning different words that they were never exposed to. So I think, like Ms. Ponder said, we just need to continue to implement that high engagement technology things that we learned during the pandemic once the pandemic is still over.
I love it. Huge shout out to our friends James and Wanda, Sarah and Kristen. Congrats and thank you to our good partners at Vocabulary.com. They're really doing some impressive things. Go check them out if you haven't already. Big shout out to our friends at Broward, who continue to just open our eyes of the incredible things that teachers and students are doing during these difficult times. Everyone, we're back in about 40 minutes. Once again, don't miss it. Don't forget to follow #DL Day. Digital Learning Day is today, and we're highlighting the incredible educators at Broward County Public Schools. Everyone, we will see you soon. Have a good day.